I was given the article Relevance of Religion to the Curriculum written by Warren A. Nord as my assignment. It's a very fascinating article having to do why religion should be included in the curriculum. A little bit about the author. Warren A. Nord is a philosopher within the human development program with a focus on education and religion and how they correlate. He has been studying this field for a very long time and has written several books on this subject. The first main key points that he talks about in this article is why religion isn't allowed in schools. The first point that he makes is that the world focuses on secular knowledge. It's more important to know lots of things, such as math, writing, and reading, than to know how to solve problems. Also, the teachers don't feel that they have adequate enough knowledge or ability or even the desire to teach religion to their lesson plans. By having teachers teach religion, it would also reform the teaching world, requiring a lot more effort on the teacher's behalf. He says that it's actually impossible to take religion out of the schools, though, even with all of the hate and disturbance with having it in. He says that as he was doing research, he looked at over 10 economic textbooks. If he were to take out anything that mentioned any type of religion from any portion of the world, out of those 4,400 pages, only 2 would deal with non-religious material. Religion is everywhere in the world, whether we choose to avoid it or not, so why don't we just teach it in our classrooms? There are 3 main reasons that he uses that why we should use teaching in our public schools. The first, that it's profoundly illiberal. Second, that it's politically unjust. And third, it's unconstitutional. Expounding on the first point, liberal education is defined as teaching students many different ways and many different uses of their knowledge and how to use it in their life. Without teaching religion, that is blocking students, another way for students to learn and how to adapt within their life. So if schools pride themselves on being liberal, they should teach education. But they do not choose to teach education, therefore they're not as liberal as they seem. The second point, that is politically unjust. You cannot favor either being religious or unreligious by teaching one standpoint. If you teach a religious standpoint all the time, you are making it unfair to those who are not religious. But if you teach a non-religious standpoint, you're being unfair to those who are religious. There is a very fine line and a fine balance. And as a teacher, you should not be favoring one student above the other. The third point is that it's unconstitutional. At the time of the black discrimination, you wouldn't find people talking about it and in a bad way because it was in such a controversial movement. The same is with religion nowadays. Schools must be neutral. When a school teaches a theory such as evolution that is not a religious standpoint, they must also teach the creation theory. It's a balance, and the balance is a very fine line, but it must be used within the schools to be useful to the students. And lastly, as my conclusion, that it may be hard to teach with religion in the classrooms, but I don't believe it's a bad thing. I think it would actually help the students. It will increase the ways that students can use to respond to situations. It also deepens their understanding, making it easier to communicate with others. By learning all sorts of different religions, it gives us a common ground. And with this common ground, it would help improve our society. I find this article very interesting, and if you get the chance, read it, and please influence your classroom and your teaching with some education. Thank you.